Okay, for the last little steps in putting the head together, all we needed to do was get these ball links ready to go. Something I noticed that's out of place, it says 600N Z7 is the bag where you'll find the linkage rods, and 600N Z7A is where you're going to find the ball links. I noticed that all of the linkage rods were actually in this 600 FLZ1, and inside of that all the ball links were in the 600 FLZ1A. So only the 19mm that you put on the swash plate comes in a different package, but these ones, all of the other ball links and linkage rods are in these packages. So we already did these 19mm linkage rods to make it 10.5 in between. Next ones we needed here were the 48mm, and it wanted to be 37 in between. And then for the smaller ones, we grabbed the 14mm, and we wanted it to be 2mm in between. So I made sure I used the calipers to measure the linkage rods that I was using, and then made sure that the distance between these two was just 2mm. Okay, measured those ones out, made sure they're the same. On this one, the A's are going to be facing on the same side, and on these other ones it was, I believe, 37mm for the gap in between the ball links. It's close enough. So I measured those ones out. These ones are going to be at a bit of a 90-degree angle. See how it's right here, this one's straight, and then twist this one. A is going to be on one side, and then you go up, and you want the A to be on the counterclockwise side. So A on this side, and then A back on this side, because the bottom's going to clip on, and then this part's going to come out. We'll show you how these ones go on. Okay, so we want to make sure that the washout base is in the phasing pins. This guy is going to snap onto the very bottom. Again, make sure the A is on the outside. You snap it on there. Another good way that you can make use of your ball link pliers, it doesn't just remove the ball links, it also puts the ball links on. Let me show you how this is done. So the opposite way that you put it on, you want to turn around, and this little small part you get behind the ball link, and then you're going to use these two prongs to get it on. See how it snaps on there nice and easy? And then this part is going to link onto the longest part of the mixing arm right here. And then the smaller arms, see how the two ball links are facing the same direction? I want to get these guys on here. Make sure the A is on the outside. And then we're going to do the same over here. So there we go. And everything's moving nice and smooth. That's exactly how we want it. There's thread lock holding the metal pieces to the metal pieces. Everything's nice and smooth. Last thing we're going to do here with the top is get the button on here. I'm going to get some thread lock on my finger. Get it on there nice and tight. Okay, and the head is pretty much finished. For now, We're going to put the collar on here. The extra lengthy part goes on the bottom. We're not going to put that right in place or put any thread lock on here just yet. I'm just going to get the collar on here just to hold the head together as we put it to the side and start assembling the frame. And when we need to install the head, we will get that done. So now we have the head completely finished. Everything's moving nice and smooth. All the ball links are on here correctly, and this is exactly how you want it looking. Okay, next bag we're going to open up to get ready is the 600N 3. We've got the main gear. Once again, like so many other things, came pre-assembled. We just want to give it a good little rundown here and make sure it's what we need. Looks pretty good to me. I've never had a bad experience with what they have. You want to make sure these are tight in here. You don't want to too over tighten it, kill it. Main gear with the tail auto rotation drive. Just turn the way it should, doesn't go the other way. Put this to the side. We'll be using that again later. Next bag says we attack here is the 600N 4A. It's where we've got, you know, the clutch bell, clutch bearing block, all the mounting tools. It says here, already assembled by factory, please note to check again. And that's the clutch liner inside the clutch. So do as it says. Make sure you check in there. These things probably don't have thread lock on here, so as it says, apply T43 thread lock to all this stuff. 600N 4. Let's see what we've got in here. Okay, so it's like we've got the fan stuff, everything we need. What we're going to be looking at now is a 600N 4A, and then we've got some extra hardware here in the NB 4B. That's all we've got in that bag. So like the other stuff, it sort of came pre-assembled, but you have to make sure you go through everything and get the thread lock on there. Everything's just hand tightened. Like I said, check the liner. So that the liner's in there. It's glued on. This wears out as well, something that you might have to replace later, so good thing to keep spares around. Bearings are in there just as it says in the manual. This guy's only hand tightened on here, so again we're going to get some thread lock on that part. Pull this whole thing apart. Get some thread lock on here. Check the manual. Okay, so once you've got the clutch bell and all the hardware, it's all pre-installed, and like I said, doesn't have any thread lock, so you want to pull this little nut here off. Get that guy and this whole thing. I want to get this bearing out. Don't force it, you don't want to have any issues there. And this little guy, the clutch gear. Get it out there. Same as always, gonna dip it in some thread lock. Run it along there. Get it out. the side. I'm going to put it back in the top of this clutch. You don't want to do any cross threading, so make sure you get in there nice and straight. And just get it in there nice and easy. Okay. Nice and tight there. Okay. Next you got your bearing. Get the bearing on there. Nice and even. Uniform. Never hurts to just throw a little extra tri-flow on your bearings. Never hurts. You don't want to get it all greasy and have it to the point where it's going to get fabrics in there, but bearings are happy with a little grease. Next you're going to put some thread lock on the end here. Make sure you get some alcohol and wipe off that end there. Wipe off the end with some alcohol. Get some of this thread lock again. Actually, I'm gonna do it from get some on my finger because I don't want to get any in that bearing. Thread lock. Don't want to get any in the bearing. Wipe off all the extra. Just gotta remember when you got this stuff on your fingers. And get this nut in here, this clutch nut. And you're gonna want to get in there pretty tight. Grab a wrench or something. Try to get it tight. You don't need to kill it too bad. I mean, the torque from the motor is going to help get it on there a little better as well. So let's see, now we're looking for the clutch shaft. Run the clutch shaft in here through the clutch bell, and up to the top you're going to see there's little indentations. Two little indentations in this guy. Also, miraculously, you're going to find that here on the starter coupling, we also have the two grub screws, which are going to end up matching up with that. First, we're going to put on this little bearing. It's going to be a little play in here for that guy. Going to give him just a little bit of tri-flow as well. Get him moving nice. And then the starter coupling. Pull the little grub screws out. And you don't want to clean them off. Put them in some alcohol. Dip them here. Get them cleaned. Make sure you hold this guy down. This bearing doesn't want to go down. Okay. And the shorter part is facing down. There is going to be some play. I'll make sure I line up the grub screws with the indentations. Oh, I did that wrong. Okay, here we go. Indents right here. One line those up. And then put some thread lock on these guys and tighten them on. Tighten this guy on here.